fancies me, you know.
Don't we all?
He's a bit bold, though. Parsons nearly caught us.
You go for older men, do you, Tina?
Don't be daft, man. He's only about 40.
He's a bit chubby. I could never really fancy a fat man.
Oh, I don't know. Something to get hold of, you know what I mean?
Oh, you dirty bit.
So what's the trouble then?
Well, it's something and nothing. Wasn't going to bother you.
Oh, come on.
It's silly, really. It's always little stuff.
You're not making much sense, Miss Parsons.
Oh, well, things have started disappearing from the kitchen stores. The chef told me this morning.
I see. Any idea who's doing it?
Well, I've been watching them pretty carefully, but well, I haven't spotted anything yet.
Wouldn't be a simple case of miscalculation on the part of the chef.
Oh, he says not. He says every item is checked and double-checked.
Oh, and he's panicking, I suppose. Has he been to the governor?
Oh, no, not yet. I said to leave it with me, but he wants action, of course.
Well, I expect he does. But until we've found out who's doing it, well, you go on keeping your eyes peeled. I'll mention it to Mrs. Forrester tomorrow.
Well, he saws the small stuff, you know, the odd packet of biscuit, tins of fruit, sugar, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it's what you'd expect, isn't it? Easy to hide in the cell. Right, I'll tell the governor. You find the culprit.
Right, Chief.
Where'd you get him?
Nicked him, I bet.
Oh, come on, Tina. Picked him off a tree, did you?
You want some haze? Pass it round if you like. Plenty more where that came from.
And where's that then? You nicked it from the kitchen stores, you know you did.
I bloody didn't.
All right, then where?
They come from the stores, but I didn't nick them.
I suppose they just fell off the shelf, did they?
And you happened to be passing by underneath, like?
I came by them, didn't I, Gail? I've got friends, you see.
Oh, yeah?
Well, after all, the girls gotta eat.
Her boyfriend gave them to her, if you want to know. Come on, Tina, I want to watch your telly.
You got a boyfriend, have you, Teen? Hey, what's he like?
He's lovely, tall, dark and handsome. Who's that fellow on the telly that does the jumping about with the box of chocolates? Well, he looks just like that, and he's really sexy.
Morning, Mr. Jackson.
Morning, Ron. Ready for them, are you?
Yes, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, I had to run for it this morning. We've got my sister staying with us. You know what it's like.
Yes, Mr. Jackson.
Well, I'll let you get on. I've got work to do in the office. Oh, God, here they come.
Oh, hello, kitchen. Hello, Mr. Horsby.
All right, girls, hurry up and get your gear on.
Please, Miss Parsons, could I be on sweets, bean and vegetables every day this week?
What's the matter, Gail? Don't you like vegetables?
No, it's my hands.
She's got ever such pretty hands, Miss Parsons. Hadn't you noticed?
Oh, shut up, Tina. Go get changed. Those two would be the death of me.
High-spirited.
Yeah. Got to admire it, really. Well, a place like this.
Yeah.
Well, how are you today, then?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. Fine.
Mr. Jackson in yet?
Oh, yes. Always on time. Never been late once in the 6 months I've been here.
Do you like it?
It's all right.
Ah, you worked in prisons before, didn't you? Up north.
I was at Strangeways for a bit.
This is better, eh?
Better?
Well, woman's prison must be more fun. For you, as a man.
I don't know what you mean.
Sorry, I only meant
What?
nothing. Doesn't matter. Okay, ladies, come on. Now, Mrs. Peace, you and Mrs. Spooner on vegetables. Hey, where's Mrs. Spooner?
She didn't come with us, Miss Parsons.
Well, why not? What's the matter with her?
I think she was taken ill in the night. Shall I go back and see?
No, just get on with your work. You two, go on, get moving.
Oh, you two, bread. You know where to find it. And don't go mad with the Marge, all right?
He's looking at you.
Sod off.
Look at those beady wee eyes.
It's allowed, you know. There's no law against it.
Now, he really fancies you.
I think he's quite nice.
What?
In a funny sort of a way. Here, grab hold of this lot, you silly cow. And for God's sake, stop staring or you'll put him off and then he'd be no good to me anymore.
glad I don't have a long journey on a day like this. Yeah, staff holiday schedules. It's difficult. I know, we're so short. But we should try to stick to them. It's better all round, better for discipline.
Yes, madam.
Good. Was there something else you wanted to talk to me about?
Well, I hardly like to bother you with it. It'll probably all blow over.
You know I like to be told of all developments.
Oh, of course, madam, but at this stage, it's...
What's the problem?
Well, it seems that someone is stealing from the kitchen stores. Only small things, I understand.
One of the inmates?
We don't know, but things are disappearing which it would be difficult for an inmate to get hold of by themselves.
I see. I assume your staff are keeping their eyes open.
Oh, of course, madam.
Well, let me know whatever happens.
Yes, I will, madam.
Don't go, Mrs. Armitage. Sit down for a minute. I want to talk to you about the way your officers' duties are allocated. I think perhaps they're spending too much time on the same wing.
Miss Parrish?
Yes?
It's Mrs. Spooner.
Oh, not again.
I'm afraid so.
What, the old trouble?
Refusing to go to work, pretending she's ill.
Well, I thought she was supposed to be better. Where is she?
In her cell, she says she was sick in the night.
Oh, does she? Well, we'll soon see about that. You know, I'm beginning to lose patience with Mrs. Spooner. Now then, what's all this, Mrs. Spooner? Shouldn't you be at work? What's the matter with you?
I was sick again.
Yes, well, you don't look very ill to me. But come along, clean yourself up, and we'll get you to work.
I was sick again, Miss Parrish.
Now, look, Mrs. Spooner, you've only been out of the hospital wing. What is it now? 2 days. And Dr. Mays couldn't find anything wrong with you. He passed you Labour 1.
I was sick in the night. I felt really bad. I had these pains.
Well, what is it? What's the matter with you?
I don't know, do I?
Well, do you feel any better now?
Well, a bit, but...
Oh, good. Well, that's a start, isn't it? Take her to the washroom, will you, Mrs. Spencer? And then we'll get you over to the kitchen. You're on kitchen duty today, aren't you?
I can't work. Not today. I'm not well. I didn't eat my breakfast.
Come on, Mrs. Spooner.
That's it. You can't be ill again, you know. Not so soon after the last time.
Why can't I? This place is enough to make anybody ill.
That's enough now.
Come on, Mrs. Spooner. We've wasted enough time on you already. Move!
Gail,
What?
what's the first thing you do when you get out?
I don't know. See my fella have a bevy, get laid. Maybe no in that order.
You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah, I can guess.
No, that can wait. The first thing I'm going to do is go home and have a bath. A real proper bath. Take all afternoon.
Won't be long now.
No, 3 weeks and I'll be out of this stinking hole.
What are you going to do?
You mean a job?
Oh, go back to the shop, will you?
No. I'm going to go down the West End. See if I can fix myself up with something really good.
Aye, aye. Lover boy's giving you the eye again.
He's not, is he?
You play your cards right and you're in there, girl.
Thanks.
He's coming over, can't keep away, you see. Hello, Mr. Moresby.
Get on with your work.
Ah, sorry I spoke.
Why are you so slow? You can do it quicker than that, can't you?
Oh, it can be ever so quick. It's just bread and bread. Takes time.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Just get on with your work. And you too, Tina.
Sorry, Mr. Moresby.
Yes, well. Tina.
Yeah?
Your hands. Be careful with your hands on that knife. It's sharp.
Ah, where the hell have you been?
We had a bit of bother. The old trouble.
Oh, no.
Anyway, she's all yours.
Thanks. Right, come on, Mrs. Spooner. Now you're here, you better find something for you to do. Vegetables.
That's all very well. But if she's telling the truth, I have to put up with the bloody woman being sick all over the place.
All over the place?
Oh, you know what I mean.
Look, Miss Parrish, I had her in the hospital wing. She seemed to be better.
Well, she says she's not better now.
Well, when did it start again?
Last night, one of the officers found her sitting on the bed this morning, refusing to eat her breakfast.
Well, I can't find anything wrong with her.
Well, couldn't you have her back in the hospital wing just
Not
in
at
case?
the moment. There's no room. Besides, that's not the point. I don't think we ought to be giving in to her.
Just I could do without Mrs. Spooner and her problems just at the moment.
Difficult time.
When isn't it?
Be an assistant governor, eh?
Oh, indeed.
Sorry.
Yes, I see. You mean there's no way of telling whether she's genuinely ill or simply trying it on? She's been in the hospital wing before,
Yes, madam, for a week.
so she could be trying to get back there.
I suppose she could be, yes.
Wanting a bit of a fuss made.
Well, Dr. Mays couldn't find anything wrong, but it's difficult to be absolutely certain. And of course in the hospital wing she could be kept under constant supervision.
How old is Mrs. Spooner?
Early 50s?
Any other sign of illness, mental troubles?
No, madam.
Well, I'll speak to Dr. Mays, but in the meantime, I think you should take a firm line with her. Now, about Mrs. Hopwood.
Come on, Mrs. Spooner, dry your hands and let's get on with it.
Not right, you know. It's not right I should be made to work like this. I'm a sick woman.
Yes, and you'll be a damn sight sicker if you don't get a move on. I've got a date tonight. Can't hang around here looking after you lot. Okay, Ron?
Yes, Miss Parsons. Oh, Tina, just check the ovens, will you?
Come on, girls, come on in.
Who's your date with tonight, Miss Parsons?
None of your business.
Well, if he's pretty, have one for me.
You should be so lucky. Go on, girls, up you go.
All done, Mr. Moresby.
Tina.
Yeah?
Here, just a little present.
Thanks.
Go on now, we don't want any trouble.
Aren't you lovely? Tea. A paper bag full of bloody tea.
So, what's wrong with that?
I don't even like tea.
Shouldn't accept presents from strange men, should you?
Here, I'll have it if you don't want it. You keep your thieving hands off.
Listen to who's talking.
I can use it to trade, can't I?
Why don't you make him give you things you really want? Tell him to get you a packet of fags next time.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
You'd have to bring them in from outside.
So?
Well, I mean, so far he's only given you stuff from the kitchen, stuff he's whipped from the stores.
Then I'll have to have a little talk with him, won't I?
You mean he'll get you anything you want?
Yeah.
How long's this been going on then?
Oh, I don't know, a couple of weeks since I've been on kitchen work. Yeah, you can have that if you want.
Sure. And he really fancies you, does he?
Yeah, I expect so.
I wonder if he's in love with you, Tina.
Don't be daft, man. He just fancies us.
Oh, he's after your body. I don't know why, of course. A fat old bag like you.
Yes, you
very well again. Oh, well, you'll feel better later on. Come along now.
But I've got this headache.
Well, never mind. I'll get you some pills for that. Now, hurry and get cleaned up or you'll be late for work.
See that those carrots are properly washed. What's this?
Oh, sorry, Mr. Jackson. It just slipped by.
Oh, yes.
Like a wee bit of dirt never hurt anyone.
Didn't it? Well, not in my kitchen, if you don't mind.
What?
What are you laughing at? Get on with your work. Keep an eye on those two, will you? I'll be in the office. I've got to sort out tomorrow's menus.
Now you stick it all day, every day.
Don't notice it after a bit.
How'd you get into all this anyway? I mean, wouldn't you be better working in a restaurant or something?
I don't think so.
This place doesn't give you much scope, does it?
Enough. Never had much taste for fancy cooking anyway.
Oh, where'd you learn? To cook, I mean.
Taught myself mostly. Then I was in the catering corps for a bit.
Oh, so when you left the army, you joined the prison service?
More or less.
Ah, what does your wife think about it?
You what?
Your wife? Oh, aren't you married?
No.
Sorry, I thought you would be.
Not married, no. Might have been once, but I decided against it.
Why?
Wouldn't have done, that's all.
Oh, don't you like women?
Of course I like women. I like women very much. Just didn't happen to work out.
See? God, what are those two at? Hey, look, stop it, you two. Get on with your work.
Oh, sorry, Miss Parsons. I was just showing Tina this car.
Yes, I know.
It's a funny shape, isn't it? Don't you think?
I'll give you a funny shape if you don't get on with your work. You too, Tina.
Sorry, Miss Parsons.
Quite a sense of humour, Aunt Gail.
Yeah. The other one's a good worker, though.
Tina.
Yeah, that's right, Tina.
They're both all right, really. Quite like them.
What's she in for, then?
Who, Tina?
Yeah.
Ah, she got a history of petty theft. Been in and out of approved schools most of her life.
What's her sentence?
6 months. Something like that. Nearly over. She'll be out in a few weeks.
What?
Tina, she's nearly finished her sentence.
But I thought,
What's the matter? Hey, you don't fancy her, do you? I mean, I wouldn't blame you. She's a nice-looking girl.
Of course I don't fancy her. I like the girl, that's all she's got spirit, but I don't fancy her. Not at all. No. No.
Sorry, I spoke.
Excuse me, I'll just...
So what do we do, Peter? It looks to me as though the woman is trying it on, an attempt to get back into the hospital wing, but if she is genuine...
Oh, she's canny, all right. I mean, she's more than capable of putting on an act.
When she was in the hospital wing...
Well, it's the usual thing. She complained about pains in the stomach, feeling sick. I gave her something. She said it didn't make any difference. I tested her for appendicitis, for ulcers. Nothing.
I see. It does look like faking, doesn't it?
Hmm. Yeah, how much difference does it make?
I don't follow you.
Well, whether she's trying to con us or not, she's certainly in a bad stage. Look, why don't I have her back in the hospital wing, let Dr. Russell have a go at her?
I don't like being conned, Peter. It gets around. Let's get on, shall we?
All right.
I'm finished. How you doing?
Nearly through.
Yeah, well, slow it down a bit or they'll put us onto something else.
I don't mind, really. Anything's better than vegetables.
You two finished, then?
Yes, Mr. Moresby?
Just about.
Good, fine. Well, Gail, you tidy up here. Take those pans over to the big cooker and then see these sinks are cleaned. You can come and give me a hand in the store.
Aye, aye, here we go. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Just watch us.
Wish I could, Carol. Bloody carrots.
Was the tea all right?
Yes, thanks.
Sorry it wasn't a bit more, but it's not always easy, you see.
No.
Have to be a bit careful. I'm glad you're working in the kitchens now.
Yes, so am I.
It's nice to have a pretty girl like you to look at. There isn't much else to look at in this place, is there?
Suppose not.
You really are a very pretty girl, you know that.
Thanks, Mr. Moresby.
Would you, could you call me Ron? Ron Moresby, that's my name. I like you to call me Ron.
Yeah, okay, Ron.
Only in here, of course. Out there, it'll have to be Mr. Moresby for the sake of appearance.
Okay.
I liked you right from the start. You know why?
No?
You looked like you got spirit, like you weren't going to let this place get you down. I admired that.
Well, you've got to do something, haven't you?
Some of the other, you know, more wet rags like, but you had something. I bet you were a naughty girl when you're at home, eh?
Not specially.
Bet you gave your parents all sorts of trouble. Well, when you got a bit older, I mean.
Eh?
Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
I'm referring to your relationships with the opposite sex.
Oh, that.
Bet all the boys ran after you, didn't they? Even when you were a schoolgirl. Bet they ran after you all the time, didn't they?
What if they did?
Would you like to tell me about it?
What?
Well, I'm sure you got up to all sorts of fun, didn't you? All sorts of games.
How do you mean?
I'd like to hear about it. What you did together. Well, your looks and figure must have been like flies round a jam jar. Tell me what you did together. Did you let them do what they wanted? Did you let them go the whole way? Describe it to me, please, Tina, please.
It was nothing. There's nothing to tell. I used to muck around with the lads just like all the other girls. Nothing special, though.
Tell me. Would you like... I'll bring you stuff from outside.
You could bring us some fags.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll bring you some cigarettes. Anything you like. Only tell me, will you? I want to know how it was when you went with boys.
How do I know you'll bring us the fags?
I will. I promise you I'll bring them tomorrow. Well?
Well, we used to meet after school. There was this bit of common, you see. I was going with this lad from the canning factory. I'd wait for him after school, and when he'd finished work, we'd go on this common. Do you want to kiss us, then?
What? No, go on.
I can't.
Please.
I feel funny with you looking at me like that.
Go on, please.
I can't do anything with her. She refuses to go to work again. She won't clean her cell or make her bed.
Yes, I thought we might be in for trouble when I saw her earlier.
She just sits there.
Well, the governor wants us to take a tough line. Thinks she's trying it on.
Well, that's all very well, but I don't see how we can be...
All right, I'll see if I can get some sense out of her. You carry on with what you've been doing. Get up. Did you hear me, Mrs. Spooner? I told you to get up. Now, what on earth's the matter with you?
Can't help it.
I don't believe that. Now, are you going to behave sensibly and clean up this cell, or do I have to put you on report? Well?
Feel sick.
Oh, come along. You're doing yourself no good, you know, by behaving like this. Very well, you'll leave me no alternative. You'll be on Governor's report tomorrow. Is that clear? Oh, for heaven's sake, Mrs. Spooner, is it worth it? Keeping up this ridiculous pretense? You'll certainly lose your privileges, possibly even remission.
Finished, have you? Oh, yes, Miss Parsons.
Right, in that case, you'll
Oh, I haven't finished cleaning up yet.
What's the matter, girl? Don't you want something else to do? Another 20 minutes to go yet, you know. Hey, where's Tina?
Oh, she's with Loverboy.
What?
Mr. Moore's, we asked her to help him in the stores.
But he's not...
Of course, that was a while back. I don't know where she'll be now.
You get on with that.
Yes, Miss Parsons.
Hello, Miss Parsons.
I wonder where you got to.
It's all right, Miss Parsons. Tina was just giving me a hand. I'm sorry. I should have told you.
It's all right. I was just checking.
All right, Tina. You can go back to the kitchen now. Thank you for your help.
That's all right. Anything to oblige.
Well, better be getting back. Can you manage?
Yes, thanks.
Right. Look, you know, you're not supposed to...
Yes, I know.
Yes, well...
Saves time, you see, another pair of hands.
Yes, I know. It's
Don't
just...
worry, won't happen again. Next time I'll make sure you're properly informed.
Look, I'm sorry.
No, I
didn't
understand. You have your job to do. Excuse me, please.
Yep?
Can I have a word?
Yes, of course. What's the trouble?
Oh, it's not trouble. It's just... I think I've solved the mystery of the disappearing tins of fruit.
Oh, yes.
Well, you know the second chef?
Which one's he?
Ron Moresby. Oh, he's been here about 6 months.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen him around. You mean he's the culprit?
Yes. Well, he's not stealing for himself. He's giving the stuff to one of the inmates.
Oh, is he indeed?
I know this sounds crazy, but I think he's in love with the girl.
In love?
Infatuated or something.
What, and this is his way of showing it?
I suppose he wants her to like him.
Ron Moresby. Well, I'm thinking of the right man. He'll need more than tins of fruit. He's not exactly Paul Newman. Oh, well. Who's the girl?
Tina Price.
Oh, yeah, that adds up. Well, I'll tell the governor and we shall see. Thank you, Miss Parsons. And well done.
Chief,
Yeah?
you don't think you get the sack, do you?
Well, I have to think it's almost certain if what you tell me is true. Why?
I don't know, I just felt a bit sorry for her.
I should keep your sympathy for those that need it if I were you. Are you coming?
Oh, yes, Chief.
I hate this game. It's kid stuff. I don't know why I play it.
You always win.
I know it's because I'm clever, see? Oh, sod. It doesn't look like I'm going to win this time.
Anyone got a fag? Hey, Gail, you had some yesterday.
That was yesterday.
God, I'm dying for one.
Thought you were going to get your boyfriend to bring you some in.
Give us a chance. He's going to. He promised he'd bring us some tomorrow.
And what do you have to do for that, then?
Why should I tell you?
Did you let him kiss you?
Yeah. Well, no. As a matter of fact, he didn't seem to want to.
Gone off you, has he?
No, he bloody hasn't. You want to know, I think he's a bit kinky.
How do you mean?
Well, shall I tell him, Gail?
You're going to anyway, so why ask me?
He didn't want to kiss us. At least he said he didn't.
Yeah?
It's funny. I was telling him about how I went out with this lad, and he got all excited. I thought he was going to jump on us any minute, but he didn't. He just sat there. And then he asked us if I was wearing a bra.
Yeah? So?
I said yes, I was. And he looked all embarrassed, and then he said, could he have it to keep, you know?
And what did you do?
Well, I gave it to him, didn't I?
You didn't.
Of course I did. Why not?
And that's all you had to do?
Yeah. After I'd given it to him, he went all quiet. And then he said, we'd better get on with our work. And it's just as well we did, because a minute or two later, old Parsons comes in looking all suspicious. And that was the end of that.
And all he wanted was your bra?
Yeah. Kinky, eh?
Bloody kinky.
Look, I think he's sick. Well, what's he going to do? Go back home and make love to your old bra? That's just bloody pathetic, that is.
Well, I don't care what he does, as long as he brings us in a packet of fags tomorrow. Hey, come on, Gail. I know you've got some. I saw you having a crack.
Get off. Just get off, will you?
Peter.
Hello. Do I disturb you?
No. No, come in. I was just making a cup of tea.
Thank you.
Would you like one?
Yes. Yes, I'd love one. You're sure that I'm not disturbing you?
No, really. Did you want to see me about something special, or is this just a social visit?
Oh, social. Purely social. Bored with my own company.
I know the feeling.
Well, I got to thinking, who could I call on at this late hour for a cup of coffee, some conversation? It occurred to me that you might not actually turn me away.
No, of course not. I'm glad you came.
It's any good?
Yes, I think so. It's heavy going, though.
You normally read this sort of thing in your spare time.
Yes? I don't have to curl up with a good thriller, if that's what you mean.
So what do you do to relax? I'm sorry. I mean, it sounds like the Inquisition.
That's all right. I find I can relax quite easily without, what do they call it, escapist literature? Oh, dear, that does sound pompous, but you know what I mean. Do you take milk?
Yes, please, and sugar.
What with trying to keep up with all the latest research, I find that I don't have time for fiction. You are? Help yourself to sugar.
Thanks. Well, your husband was a doctor, wasn't he?
Yes, I told you. He was in the army in Malaya.
And he died out there, didn't he?
Yes. He was shot. Took a stupid risk. How many of you know?
Oh, I've no idea. One or two. Radley, myself.
I suppose the whole of my past life has had a good going over.
Well, people are curious. You know how it is.
I don't mind. There's one thing that bothers me, though.
Yeah?
I have a feeling, more of a hunch, really, that certain members of the staff see me as a poor lonely widow who needs bringing out. Anything in that, do you think, or am I being oversensitive?
I'd say that the thought might have crossed one or two minds.
I thought so. Well, it's not true, you know. I like my own company. There was a time when I was lonely. Desperately lonely, in fact. But not anymore. Not for a long time. And I'd hate it if... well, if any of the staff here felt the least bit sorry for me.
Helen?
Yes?
I don't know what the other members of the staff think, but speaking strictly for the medical side, I came here this evening for the pleasure of your company and on the off chance that you might offer me a cup of tea. I'm not very good at errands of mercy.
Thank you, Peter. What are we doing sitting here? Let's go through into the living room. Bring the tea, will you?
Right.
Well, I understand from Miss Parrish that you refuse to work. Have you an explanation for me?
I'm sick, ain't I?
You're not sick, Mrs. Spooner. You've only just been released from the hospital wing. And Dr. Mays tells me you are perfectly well.
He don't know.
Now listen to me, Mrs. Spooner. I'm going to tell you what I think the matter is. I think you want us to believe that you're sick, so that we'll send you back to the hospital wing. It's nice there, isn't it? More comfortable than your cell. Well, it hasn't worked. So I want you to go back to work, and providing you behave yourself in the future, we'll forget all about this little incident. Is that understood?
But the pains. I can't help it if
I think you can.
I'm an old woman.
That's nonsense. You're not old. I will say no more about it, but see that you're not put on report again.
Trouble is, it's not really something I can control, see? I mean, I know. I read in a book about my...
Go on, Mrs. Spooner. What was this book you read?
A doctor's book.
I see. You read all about these pains of yours in a medical book?
Yes, I read about it, about my illness. No reason why I shouldn't, is there?
No, none at all. But I tell you now, you're going to have to get over your illness all by yourself. You are not, I repeat, not going back to the hospital wing. Thank you, Miss Armitage.
Right, Miss Parrish.
Any more?
No, Madam Spooner was the last this morning.
Oh, I don't know if that did any good. What do you make of her?
I think she's faking.
So do I.
Oh, by the way, madam, you remember I spoke to you about stuff being stolen from the kitchen stores?
Yes?
Well, one of my officers, Miss Parsons, is pretty certain that she's found the culprit.
Well, go on.
It seems the second chef has been taking tins of fruit, things like that, and giving them to an inmate.
Can this be proved?
Well, I don't know that Parsons has actually seen him passing the stuff on to the girl, but she's pretty sure.
Who is the girl?
Tina Price, South Wing. She's dark, pretty.
Well, it'll have to be stopped, of course. Look, have a word with the chef. Tell him what you've told me and get him to talk to his assistant. I think at this stage we'll try a warning.
Well, if he's guilty, he should be dismissed the service, madam.
Yes, but we have to have proof first. Is he a good cook, do you know?
A good cook? Well, he's only been here 6 months or so, but... come to think of it, I have heard that the quality of the food has been better recently.
Right. Well, get the chef to warn his man off, and with any luck, that'll be the end of it. Oh, and have the Price girl transferred to other duties. I take it her cell's been searched?
Oh, yes, madam, nothing. She must have a hiding place.
I got the cigarettes.
Oh, thanks.
You ever done modelling?
What, dresses and that?
No, I meant photographs. You know, for magazines.
Oh, nude stuff. No. Do you think I should?
You do well. With your figure, you do very well.
How much do they pay then?
Well, quite a bit, I should think.
Yeah, there's lots of them, isn't there? Skin mags.
I could maybe give you an address to write to. If you want me to. For when you get out of me.
Yeah, okay, you're on.
I have friends in that line of business. You'll be out soon, won't you?
Yeah, 3 weeks, 21 days. No, 20 now. I cannot wait.
Well, maybe if we could meet outside, I mean, I might be able to help.
What, you mean introduce us to photographers and that?
Well, yeah, get you started, you know. I'd like to help.
You know something, Ron? You're okay. I could get to like you.
Oh, that's all right. Tina.
Yeah?
Would you do something for me?
What?
Well, it won't take a minute. The door's locked and no one will come in.
What is it?
Well, if I'm going to get you a job as a, as a model, I think, after all, it's only fair if I get a look at the goods first. Please, Tina. Just for a moment.
You want us to strip? Okay, it'll cost you, though. 3 packets of fags tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
What's the matter? What is it, Ron? What's the matter? Are you all right?
I love you, Tina. I love you. You're the most beautiful... I know I'm not much. I've never said it to anyone before, never. I love you, though. I love you. I think about you every day. All the day.
No.
I love you, Tina.
No, don't, please. Please, Ron, stop it. I can't. No. Look, get off. No, I said get off.
Just put you there. Like that. Get nice again. You don't want no trouble. And you can go there, like that. Oh!
Mrs. Spooner, you all right? What happened?
It's putting up me pictures. The bloody chair slipped.
You shouldn't be...
Oh!
Are you all right?
It's my hip. I think I've broke my hip.
Fetch Dr. Mays quickly.
Oh!
Now, Mrs. Spooner, stay quite still. Try not to move.
Oh! Oh!
Oh. That's it. Now, quite still. You'll be all right.
Will I go to the hospital wing now, Miss Parrish? Will I?
What the hell did you think you were playing at? Well?
I don't know.
2 tins of fruit, a packet of biscuits, sugar, tea. That's a pathetic little list, isn't it? And all presents for this Tina Price.
Yes.
You're a bloody fool, that's what you are, pinching stuff for the inmates. Did you think you'd get away with it in a place like this? They're not stupid, you know, the women that run this place. They're not stupid. They're sharper than most men, I can tell you.
I didn't think.
No, you bloody didn't, did you? Well, what do you get out of it? Shall you put your hand up her skirt? Show your tits?
I was fond of her.
Oh, you was fond of her. I see. Right little romance, eh? Into the stores for a cuddle and a kiss when nobody was looking.
Wasn't like that.
No? Well, I don't know, I'm sure. Be bloody lucky if you don't get the sack for this little lot when you're down. It's not up to me, of course. You realise that? How old was this girl, anyway?
I don't know, 22, 23.
I thought so. Young enough to be your daughter. Go on, get out. You disgust me, you know it. You know that, your sort? You really disgust me. You're nothing more than less than a dirty old man. Go on, get out before I belt you. And for God's sake, keep your eyes on your work.
Well, what are you looking at? Get on with your work.
Where's Tina then?
I'm sorry, Mr. Moresby. I had to report it. Well, that's my job. Look, I didn't mean it against you personally. Please believe that. Look, I'm really sorry.
Go away, please. Go away.
I wasn't well before, of course. They had me in here for 2 weeks. Did tests and all, but they couldn't find nothing. Then they sent me back to the wing, if you please. Me still not over my trouble. I told them, of course, but would they listen? I had to get back in here, you see. Well, I mean, it's more comfortable, isn't it?
Morning. Dr. Mays tells me that you're getting better, Mrs. Williams. That's good. Well, Mrs. Spooner, I didn't expect to see you here.
No, madam.
How's the hip?
More comfortable now, thank you, madam.
And what about those pains of yours?
Oh, yes. Well, they seem to have gone away for the moment, madam.
That's good. I hope when your hip is better and you go back to the wing, they don't mysteriously come back again.
I'm sure I hope not, madam.
No. I think we understand one another, Mrs. Spooner.
Yes, madam. Thank you, madam.
Come in. Oh, Mr. Jackson, thank you for coming so promptly.
Morning, Governor.
Sit down, please. I'm afraid something rather shocking has happened.
Madam?
I've just had the police on the telephone. Your assistant, Mr. Moresby, has been found dead in his flat.
Dead? But what?
It's suicide, there's no doubt. Gas. The police had to break down the door of his kitchen.
Oh, my God.
Yes, it's obviously worse for you since you knew him better than we did.
Well, oh, dear, what a terrible thing. Well, I didn't really know him, you see. I mean, we worked together day after day, but well, I didn't really know him. I suppose it's that business, eh? Pinching stuff from the stores.
You think that's what caused it? Had you talked to him?
Yesterday morning.
I see.
Madam?
Yes?
Well, I don't know if it's important or not.
Please, Miss Parsons.
Well, after he'd been with Mr. Jackson, I saw him in the kitchen stores.
Yes.
Well, I saw him go in. He looked awful. I just went to see if he was all right.
Oh, go on.
Well, he was crying. He was just sitting there crying. I didn't know what to do. I asked if there was anything, but well, he told me to go away.
Well, it's most unfortunate. There's nothing we can do about it now.
Silly little incident. A few tins of fruit, was it? Now this.
I used to talk to him when I was on duty in the kitchen. He's all right, a bit pumping. Well, I feel a bit to blame, really.
No. Now, I don't want either of you blaming yourselves. You both acted perfectly correctly. You couldn't possibly have foreseen that this would happen. Is that clear? Miss Parsons?
Yes, madam.
Mr. Jackson?
I don't know. I suppose so.
What has happened is very sad, but it is no one's fault. Now, we all have a job to do. I think we should get on with it. Thank you, Mrs. Armitage.
And this girl, Madam, Tina Price, is she to be told?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, she's bound to find out sooner or later.
Yes. Well, let her find out. Don't tell her. After all, it's really nothing to do with her, is it?
Tina! I know you've only a few weeks to go, but it's not out yet. Right. Are we all here then? Okay. Tina? What are you doing with this lot? I thought you were on kitchen duty.
No, taken off it since yesterday. Don't know why.
Off you go.